Hey guys, I'm Martha Brookbank, licensed real estate salesperson with Valley Market Real Estate located in Palmer, Alaska. One of my favorite things to do in real estate is help people move to Alaska from the lower 48 or really from anywhere. And if you are considering a move to Alaska, you've probably thought about driving up from wherever you are with your belongings as one option on how to physically get here. And usually that's a great option, but as we all know, things changed in 2020. So I want to talk a little bit about what you can expect when you're driving to Alaska. So in March 2020, Canada closed their borders to non-essential travel. What that means is you can't just drive through Canada without having a good reason. And if you do have a good reason, you have to provide documentation. You need to prove that you do have a good reason. So the reasons that you might be allowed to drive through Canada would be if you're moving for college, and obviously you would have to provide paperwork to prove that. If you're moving for a new job, if you're moving to your primary residence, so if you're buying a home, or maybe you're renting because you got a new job. Either way, I would bring my copy of my purchase and sale agreement if you're purchasing a home. So in other words, your contract. And if you're renting because you're moving up for work, I would bring a copy of the lease if I have one. If not, you better have proof that you got a new job up here. And the fourth reason that Canada might let you through is if you have military orders. And again, you got to bring documentation of that. So as always, you'll be questioned by a border agent when you get there. But now they also have what they're calling quarantine officers. So best practice, I would say, is to arrive with a negative COVID-19 test that maybe you took 24, 48, 72 hours prior. They do have testing facilities at the border though, and they may require you to take another test. And really just be open to whatever's gonna happen and go with the flow. You can't have any COVID-19 symptoms to enter Canada. You may not be required to quarantine if you're going to drive straight through, but when they say they want you to drive straight through, they really mean it. They don't want you to go to a grocery store if you don't have to. If you're gonna purchase food, they want you to go through a drive-through. They will require you to have enough food with you to get through Canada without stopping in their communities. So be prepared for that. You don't want food that you have to cook. Make sure everything that you bring with you is ready to eat. They don't really want you to stay in hotels, although they may allow it. But if you are staying in a hotel, they will require you to stay in your room and self-isolate. In general, really, they want you to come in contact with as few people as possible. You are encouraged to sleep in your vehicle, and you're encouraged to pay for your fuel at the pump. There are pretty stiff fines if you violate any of the COVID-19 protocols. They start at $1,000 and go up from there. So you really want to avoid that. Do your part to listen to what they say and what they're asking of you. Really, your main goal right now is to make it through Canada as quickly as possible, and you want to come in contact with as few people as possible. When you get to the Yukon Territory, you'll be asked again for your travel information and contact information. They will give you the routes that you're allowed to take and the establishments you're allowed to go to. They'll give you 24 hours to drive through the Yukon Territory. It's about 575 miles, so yeah, it's possible to do in 24 hours without making stops, and like I said before, that's the goal, so they're gonna hold you to it. Upon entering the US again at the Alaskan border, you will be asked for a negative COVID-19 test result unless you're an Alaskan resident, but even then they're highly encouraging it. I mean, I would just do it to be safe, guys. Why not? Why not get a test, make sure you're negative, and just bring that documentation with you. So definitely consider what you're doing, especially if you're driving up in the winter. Like I said, they're encouraging people to sleep in their cars. So if you're gonna do that in the winter, you better be prepared with warm clothes and sleeping bags and all sorts of gear. Might be best to just wait until spring, but I will leave that decision up to you. So now I want to talk about what you should bring in your vehicle when you're driving through Canada to Alaska. And this is really regardless of COVID-19 or not. This is just in general things you'll want to have to be prepared for whatever can happen. So the first thing I would recommend you bring is a spare tire, and best practice would probably be to bring 2 spare tires. And make sure you have all the tools you need to change your tire out in the event that you do get a flat tire. I would encourage you to bring a battery charger, road flares, a first aid kit, a headlamp, some emergency blankets would be a good idea, and like I said, warm clothes, sleeping bags, wool blankets, anything like that just to keep you warm in the event that your car breaks down. You'll want to bring a paper map just in case you don't have service or your phone dies and for some reason you can't charge it. You will want to have a cloth mask or face covering. They actually won't let you through Canada if you don't have some sort of face covering, like a mask. Some nice to haves would be like hand sanitizer, like I said, non-perishable food that you don't have to cook. A car charger for your phone, that one seems obvious, but it's easy to forget. And then of course you need your passport. You are traveling internationally, so you'll have to have your passport, you'll have to have your driver's license, your insurance, proof of insurance for your vehicle, your registration. Don't even try to come without all of those things. If you have any other questions or you need help deciding when's a good time to try and come up, if you need help looking for houses, let me know. I am here to help. Shoot me an email, look me up on social media, give me a call. I'm here for you. Thanks.